Welcome back to Law Weekly on Channels Television. My guest, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Kunle Ogunba, in this interview gives an assessment of the performance of the judiciary in 2013 and offers suggestions for improvement in 2014.
No, I think that in my own little estimation, the judiciary has performed creditably well. If you compare it with the other organs of government, even if you look at it in terms of maybe scandals, what has happened, corruption indices and all that, you can see that the judicial arm of all the three other arms can stand and show that high. Bearing in mind even the working environment, the condition of service and the remuneration. So I think that of the three arms of government, it's only the judiciary that for me is overworked. Judges still write long hand and they sit long hours. You find judges, particularly in the Lagos Division, sitting over 70 cases in a day. So and you don't find that in the judiciary, in the other arms of government. So by and large, I think that the judiciary has performed fairly well, and even the stability we are enjoying now in this democratic dispensation, we can ascribe it to the giant strides of the judiciary. We have seen judiciary in the last couple of years install governors, remove governors, and all that. So, and I think it's a welcome development, even though there are always room for improvement. There is incidents of few bad heads who are corrupt, and I think that judiciary still remains the beacon of democracy.
You talked about the issue of funding. It's also something that the CJN has constantly talked about. What do you think is the starting point with tackling this issue?
The starting point should be that the judiciary should not be seen to go cap in hand. There should be that financial independence, financial autonomy, so that the judiciary can be seen to be independent in the true sense of it. If you look at the statistics over the years, in the last 5 or so years, all the allotment to the judiciary in terms of funding is being reduced, is being cut down, and is drastically affecting the work of the judiciary. Even the last dispensation, this last year, for example, I know of some courts who could not appoint more judges in spite of the pressure on them, because it is not catered for in their budget, and then they need to build new courthouses, they need to build new accommodation, they need to get them. So all this is being hampered by funding. So I think that the starting point is that the judiciary should be seen to be autonomous, and then it can be truly be seen to be independent.
One area that the public has praised the CJN on is in the issue of discipline, instilling discipline both on the bar and the bench. Would you say that it is far-reaching enough, especially as it appears that it slowed down towards the end of 2013?
The messages that she intended to send were actually deciphered by all in the judiciary. But for me, I think that the issue of corruption in judiciary, I think, is over highlighted. There are very, very good judges within our climate. So when you tend to highlight the issue of corruption, or a few within that large set of hardworking judicial officers, then the emphasis seems to be on those few as against the large majority who are hardworking and who are a bit above board. I think the message has been sent. In some of the instances, there are complaints here and there, and even in some of the instances that was done. So I think that was why you can notice a little bit of reduction in the way, because we are talking about judiciary now. There should be, before you sanction a judge, there should be issue of fair hearing, there should be issue of due process and all that, and there are complaints legitimate in some of the exercise that was done. So and I think that's why these days we see that if there's a complaint, it must be seen to have been thoroughly dealt with.
In this new year, what would you like her to focus on more?
The working condition, the working environment of the judges. I want a situation where judges, the salaries of judges and condition, emoluments and all that is increased in the real sense of it, so that before we talk about corruption, it's just like in banking. Bankers to a large extent are well paid, so they don't have any excuse to be corrupt in the real sense of it. If you look at their take home and all that, so you see that some of our judges who do high profile cases, what do they get at the end of it? I think that the condition of service should be improved upon. In 2014, I want to see a drastic reduction in the number of judges who stay right longhand. I want a situation where more judicial assistance in terms of personnel is offered to the judges, because if you look at the life of a judge, it's a thankless job. I have said it time and time again. You see a judge sit up to 2 o'clock and you think it's the end of the matter. He comes tomorrow morning to read the judgment. He didn't prepare that judgment while he was sitting. Somewhere in between the line, between that 2 o'clock and before the next day, he sat down to prepare the judgment or rulings or whatever, and it is not on 1 or 2 matters. So it's not an easy job, not to talk of some people find it difficult to come to a decision in any issue. And now to have to come to a decision almost on a daily basis is something that is commendable. So I think that the judges need to be better paid than what currently exists.
The Nigerian Bar Association has also been accused of losing its vibrancy in 2013. In 2014, what would you also like to see the NBA do better?
Well, within the constraints of what the current executive of the NBA met on ground, I think there's room for improvement. I believe that within the confines of what currently obtains, I think the leadership of the NBA should be commended. Everybody has his own style that is peculiar and unique to it, and that is to say that some have a style that is flamboyant, some have a style that is quietly going there to get the job done. I think that if you look at it within the context of what I have seen, I think that the current leadership of the NBA might not really fit into the mode of maybe very human rights advocates and all that. But currently, I think that by and large, there's room for improvement.
What can they do better?
What I think they can do better is to focus more on the yearnings of the common people. They focus more on discipline within the bar to enhance the nobility of the profession. As it were, standards are falling, and I know that some disciplinary cases were taken this year, and we need to see more and more of that. If you look at in the last couple of days, there was a conference on corruption, which some highly placed individuals make comments that are still generating issues within the society. Now, I think by and large, there's room for improvement, but I'll give the current leadership a pass.
The debate on whether courts should get involved in political cases is an ongoing one. What do you think?
How would you say the courts are meant to intervene in disputes so that we all do not take cutlasses, guns to chase each other? Why do you now want to isolate a particular dispute from the realm of court? To lead to anarchy. So anybody who is aggrieved, I'm for it, anybody who is aggrieved has the right to approach the court. Whether the court has the constitutional power of us to entertain that particular matter is a different issue entirely, depending on but if there's the NBA will say, if it is remedial. If there is a dispute, then there should be an habitat. There shouldn't be a right, a wrong without a remedy. So if somebody feels offended, whether in the party primaries or whatever, then he has a right to approach the court.
It's not something that should be settled politically within the family.
If they couldn't, there are some disputes that runs deep. If they couldn't, then they have right to approach. Or what if somebody feels that his right is being so hampered that the only alternative he has is to approach the court. So really and truly, of course, there are political disputes which ordinarily should be. It all boils down to do or die. Really, if you want to serve and you are legitimately not given the party's ticket, there's no need to approach the court. You wait for another time because you are not serving. All that leads to is a telltale sign of corruption within the system. You don't. So for me, the bottom line is that the courts should be empowered to look at any dispute, whether it's between man and woman, whether between politicians, or whether between contracting parties.
That's the program for this week. You can of course watch it and other past episodes by logging into www.youtube.com/channelsweb. You can interact with me via email, Facebook or Twitter. I'm Shola Shayeli, and here's wishing you all a beautiful 2014.